Welcome back to Marketing for Your Future. I'm your host, David Benfield, and on the program, we talk to industry experts to help make you an industry expert yourself. So joining us today all the way from Oceanside, California is Gregg Witt with Engage Youth Company, or Corporation, excuse me. How you doing today, Gregg?
Awesome. Glad to be here.
So, Gregg, first of all, super digging all the skateboards in the back. That's so rad. Let's just get that out of the way first and foremost. So talk to me about Engage Youth. What do you guys do? What kind of service do you provide?
We're a boutique agency that focuses on helping brands leverage culture, primarily within youth culture, to connect, build relationships, and ultimately sell products or run certain types of change programs for tweens, teens, and young adults. So we're very demographic and the cultural frequencies that exist within those demographics to help brands really across many verticals.
So why choose that demographic specifically?
Honestly, I think it's all that I know. When I first got into the business, I started a skateboarding company when I was 16 years old, and then evolved into consulting for brands. And then all the brands that I was consulting with all ended up being sort of youth and young adult focused. And I've been doing that since 1999 and never looked back. It's just where I come from. It's what I'm passionate about. And I also feel like, from the modern answer would be, I feel like that's where you can sort of test what's cutting edge, what's coming, what's going. Like it's usually the demographics that adopt, sort of new technology or fashion first. And that just piques my interest as well.
Right. So talk to me about some of the challenges when working with that demographic specifically. I know it's got to be a little bit different than
No, it's a great question, because like when you're dealing with kids, it's like, a pure parent play. You can still be very culturally relevant, but it's a parent play. And then when you're working with tweens, it's more of an aspirational play where you're trying to be a few years or even 4 or 5 years ahead. And then so there's challenges in sort of striking that balance between age appropriate and aspirational. And then there are a variety of technical challenges like COPA compliance and making sure that you're not collecting cookies or other forms of data. And so you got to be very careful when you're marketing to under 13. I've just spent so much time working in that space with that sort of 9 to 13 is how I define tween demographic, that my team and I have learned, the technical nuances and how to navigate them well. But of course, you still need to be a great creative marketer. But
yeah.
at the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah, you still can't suck.
Yeah, you still can't suck.
So, but you were talking about there's some specific things you have to watch out for for folks that are aged 9 to 13 as far as like advertising to them. What are those things? I haven't dealt with that. So, what are the different?
The age appropriateness is kind of common sense, right? Depending on what you're selling and what your message, what you're selling, basically, what category you're in. Technically, though, you can't collect any data from somebody under 13 years old. So you have to be more about marketing or generating content that is to be discovered and assumed that it's going to be consumed by somebody under 12 and under, and when it specifically you can't collect emails, can't collect mobile phones, you have to do quite a bit of guesswork and get data from other sources. That's all certainly not guesswork, but it's definitely not. You can't just go on Instagram and say, hey, I want to target a 10-year-old. And
right.
You're targeting a 10-year-old. You have to know about cultural affinities. You have to know about fandoms. You have to know what is in the circle of influence of this 10-year-old.
Right.
And that takes a lot of grunt work, real groundwork to know.
No kidding. So you've been been at this now for about 20 years. So what kind of advice would you have to a young marketer just starting their company?
My advice to a marketer just starting a company is get your brand, get your story, try to get your market positioning figured out. It's okay that it won't be perfect, but to really try to figure out like who you are, what you do, why you exist, because all of the sort of technical or tactical aspects of building your company will come from that. And if you don't really dial in your identity early on, it becomes sort of, you know, whatever anyone else decides that it is versus you. And I feel like that's a big problem.
Yeah, right on. Well, thank you, Greg. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. I could sit here and do this all afternoon with you, but I'm running out of time. So thank you so much, Greg. We really appreciate you having you on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate being here. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, man. So if you'd like to learn more about Engage Youth, head to dailyadbrief.com. That's going to do it for us here on Marketing for Your Future. We'll see you next time.